Hello, welcome to today's class, and in this class we will discuss the determination of absorption coefficient. As we know, absorption coefficient of an absorbing material used to maintain the optimum reverberation level in an auditorium or a big hall is important. In other words, designing the secret behind successful design of an auditorium or big hall as per as acoustical conditions are concerned is to maintain the optimum or proper level of reverberations, and in that case absorbing material plays a very important role. The absorbing materials are known as acoustic absorbents. When these acoustic absorbents are used in an auditorium or a big hall, it reduces the reverberation time of the hall. So, measurement of coefficient of absorption is important because the coefficient of absorption is the criteria depending upon which the proper absorbent material can be selected to maintain the optimum reverberation level in a big hall or auditorium. So, measurement of or determination of absorption coefficient is necessary. There are two methods to determine the absorption coefficient of an absorbent material, and those are reverberation chamber methods and stationary wave method. Amongst these, the second one, that is stationary wave method, has few drawbacks. The material, the absorbing material of which the coefficient of absorption is determined is used as a small sample in case of stationary wave methods, and this is the grave disadvantage because when absorbing material is used as a small sample, the absorption coefficient measured is greater as compared to the original material used in the hall. In short, absorption coefficient is greater for small samples. So this is the disadvantage, and the important disadvantage is that in case of stationary wave methods, the sound waves are incident normally upon the absorbing material or sample of the absorbing material. However, in actual practice, in an auditorium or in a big hall, the sound waves are not always incident normally. So this is the another drawback. In this session, we are discussing the reverberation chamber methods. There are three reverberation chamber methods. Let us see the method number 1. The method is quite simple and straightforward. In this method, the sound waves are produced by using an organ pipe at the frequency of 512 cycles per second. and the reverberation time of a room in presence of absorbent material is measured. The simple technique is used here. In a big hall, the organ pipe is used to produce the sound waves. When the sound waves stopped, the stopwatch automatically starts, and what listener has to do is simply cut off the stopwatch when the sound wave in the hall becomes inaudible to him, and in this way the reverberation period is measured. The absorbent materials, which are specially the cushions, are used, and in presence of these absorbent materials the reverberation period of the room is measured. The absorbent materials are then removed after measurement of the reverberation period in presence of absorbent material. The cushions are later removed, and now again the reverberation time is measured, but now the window is opened gradually, and the extent of open window is adjusted gradually until the reverberation time measured is same as before, that is the reverberation time in presence of absorbent material. And now the ratio of area of open window to the total area of cushions is determined, which is absorption coefficient of the material. So this is a simple and straightforward method used to determine the absorption coefficient of the absorbing material. Now let us see the method 2, the second method. In this method again the reverberation time is measured as it was measured in the method 1 by using an organ pipe. But here the reverberation time or reverberation period in a hall is determined first without the absorbent material and then with the absorbent material. Now suppose the reverberation periods are measured and those are T1 without the absorbent material and T2 with the absorbent material. Mathematically, we can have, according to Sabin's formula, Sabin's law, T1 will be equal to 0.05 V divided by summation A1 S1, where V is total volume of the hall and summation A1 S1 is the total absorbing area, effective absorbing area in the hall, where A1 is absorbing coefficient of absorption and S1 is the actual area of the absorbing material. So in this way summation A1 S1 is equal to A1 S1 plus A2 S2 plus A3 S3 plus and so on, here A1, A2, A3 and so on. So these will be the absorption coefficients of the absorbing materials of area S1, S2, S3 and so on used for absorption. Now what about T2? That is the reverberation time in a hall with the absorbing material. It will be simply 0.05 V divided by summation A1 S1 plus alpha S. As compared to formula of T1, here alpha S is added to the absorbing effective absorbing area. And what is it? Here alpha is the absorption coefficient of the substance, of which the absorption coefficient is to be determined, and S is its area in square feet. That means alpha S is the effective absorbing area of the material, of which the coefficient of absorption alpha is to be determined. Now rest is very simple. Let us take reciprocals of the reverberation times and find 1 upon T2 minus 1 upon T1. And after solving, we will find that 1 upon T2 minus 1 upon T1, it is equal to alpha S divided by 0.05 V. And after rearranging the equation for alpha, the absorption coefficient of the material used, we find alpha equal to 0.05 V upon S in bracket 1 upon T2 minus 1 upon T1. So again a simple method and effective method used to determine the reverberation or the coefficient of absorption of the material. And let us see the third method, that is determination of absorption coefficient by using the two different sources of two different intensities. In this method, the average value of absorption coefficient of the room can be calculated by using the equation for intensity of sound that we have used in the Sabin's law. And according to that equation, IT, the intensity of sound in a room T seconds after the source has been cut off, is equal to I0 into e raised to minus a bar SVT divided by 4P. Where what is I0? I0 is the steady maximum value at the instant of cutting off the source. And what is A bar? It is the average value of absorption coefficient in the hall. What is S? Is the area of absorbing material. V, velocity of the sound. T, the instantaneous time in seconds. And V is volume of the room. Suppose we have two sources of sound whose outputs are PO and PO dash or PO prime. These two sources are giving maximum intensities IO and IO dash or IO prime respectively. Let IM be the minimum audible intensity for the listener. Suppose we have measured the reverberation times for the two different sources, and these are T1 and T2. So T1 and T2 be the respective reverberation times at the or for the minimum audibility. Now from equation 1 we have for two different sources Im equal to Io into e raised to minus a bar SV. Here in place of T we have to write T1 for first source, since it is the reverberation time measured for first source, divided by 4V. And for second source we have Im equal to Io prime, which is the maximum value of intensity for the source, and here e raised to minus a bar SV into T2 upon 4V, where what is T2? T2 is the reverberation period measured in case of second source. Since both are the equations standing for minimum audibility level, which is same for the listener, we can equate these two equations. And after equating and rearranging, we have the ratio of maximum intensities for the two sources, that is Io upon Io dash, and that is equal to e to the power a bar s v small v in bracket T1 minus T2 totally divided by 4 into capital V. Rest is simple. So by taking logarithm to the base e of both the sides, we have towards left hand side logarithm to the base e Io upon Io dash, and that is equal to a bar s into small v divided by 4 into capital V into T1 minus T2. By rearranging this, we can have the expression for a bar, that is average value of absorption coefficient in the hall, and that is a bar equal to 4 into capital V log to the base e Io upon Io prime upon s into small v T1 minus T2. But we have the power outputs of both the sounds, and that is ratio, that is PO and PO dash, and ratio of maximum intensities of sound of the sources, that is Io upon Io dash. It is simply equal to ratio of their powers, that is PO upon PO dash. In this way, by replacing Io upon Io dash by PO upon PO dash, the expression for absorption coefficient will be a bar equal to 4 into capital V log to the base e PO upon PO dash PO prime whole divided by capital S into small v into T1 minus T2. So log to the base e can be converted into log to the base 10 simply by multiplying logarithm term with 2.3026, and in this way we have a bar equal to 4 into capital V into 2.3026 in bracket log to the base 10 PO minus log to the base P10 log to the base 10 PO prime whole term divided by capital S into small v into T1 minus T2. In this way, the average value of absorption, coefficient of absorption in the hall can be determined by knowing the values of all parameters like capital V, volume of the room, P0 and P0 prime, the power outputs of the sources used, capital S, the absorbing area of the absorbing material in the hall, small v, velocity of the sound, T1 and T2, the measured reverberation times for the two sources having power outputs PO and PO prime. So, in this way, in all there are 3 reverberation chamber methods which are very simple and effective, and using the exact conditions, that is not using the sample of absorbing material but the exact situation in the hall. So the accurate measurements are possible by using these methods. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening. With this, we conclude the session. Thank you.